Hello again. Welcome back to the fourth week of art. I'm glad you came back so that we could finish together our Under the Sea art project. Now, do you remember the documentary we were watching? Yeah, the one about origami. Last week we saw the last episode. I hope you really liked it. I hope you enjoyed it to the point where it interested you into researching a little bit more of origami and trying to make your own origami art. Not just the fish that we learned, but maybe a little dog or maybe a little fox or a cat. There's a lot of beautiful origami projects online that we can find. Now, today we are going to do our warm-up first. And then we're going to go straight into our Under the Sea project and we're going to finish it today. We're going to work hard on it and we're going to try to finish it. Now, before we go to the warm-up today is a very interesting little animal that I found. It's an animal that does live under the sea. But to learn a little bit about it, why don't we watch a little video? It's a brief, super short video. I think it's even less than 2 minutes. That way it'll give us an idea of what it is that we're making. Okay, so let's go see the video. Then we'll do our warm-up, and then we'll go ahead and finish our project. Come on, let's go see the video.
You're looking at a creature few humans have ever seen. This is the Crusty Nautilus, which has never before been filmed, and hasn't even been spotted since 1984. And we see here that it immediately shows its greatest weaknesses, cages and fingers. Yet it has a way of escaping things like fingers and hungry mouths. Covering its shell is a sort of skin that feels like wet moss. Scientists believe this covering helps it slip away from the grasp of its predators. Now, I'm willing to venture that you already know about the nautiluses. They have beautiful shells that are striped like tigers, and they have short little tentacles. Indeed, they're cephalopods, so they're related to other tentacled sea creatures like the octopus and squid. But instead of actively hunting like other cephalopods, the nautiluses are largely scavengers. They spend the bulk of their time on the seafloor searching for dead fish to eat. And good on them for that. They can do whatever they want with their lives. As for the Crusty Nautilus, it's definitely still a scavenger. But unlike other non-slimy species of nautilus it shares a habitat with, it doesn't scrape the bottom of the barrel that is the seafloor. Instead, the Crusty will make its way up the water column, following reefs into shallower waters. Here it'll find even more kinds of dead fish on account of the incredible biodiversity of the reef. But this migration is not without its problems. More biodiversity means more predators, and this may well have been what drove the evolution of the slimy shell. With more predators to worry about, and without the safety of the darkness of the deep, the Crusty would do well to have an extra slippery countermeasure. So it's become the closest thing the sea has to Slimer from Ghostbusters, only without all the screaming and bad attitude. So it's got that going for it, which is nice.
Wow, what an incredible video that was. I hope you liked it. I thought it was amazing. To me, those little creatures that lived there under the water, the nautilus, they're like magical. They're like little elves in the water to me, right? I think they're super cool. Now, today, that's what we're going to draw. We are going to draw a shell, a nautilus shell. Now, I know that there was a part of the nautilus, which is the actual little creature that lives inside the shell. That was really nice, but we're not going to go into that detail. We're just going to do the actual shell itself, the hard part of the creature. Like its little house, right? You know, the shell's like a little place where it lives. So, to do our warm-up, we're going to need our good old stuff that we always use. We're going to need our pencil. We're going to need our sharpener. And I brought some of my trusty color pencils because I want to use color pencils today, not crayons. But you can use crayons if you have them. You can use markers. That works too. Anything you can use to give a little color. So as always, we're going to start by sharpening our equipment. I'm going to sharpen my pencil, and I'm going to split my paper into four. One line down the middle from top to bottom, one line down the middle from left to right, and that creates our 4 little boxes. Now I'm going to start on the top left. Let me see. Let's see. That is a nice little complicated line drawing, but I'm going to make it simple for you. Let's think of only the swirl part, the swirl. So we're going to start with a line. Let's see. It's going to start right here in the middle. Okay. Start with a little dot, and then go around. And then as you go around, you start making the swirl bigger. And then you go all the way around like this to the end like that. That's all you have to do. That's the hardest part. If you can get to this part right here, you've already conquered the Nautilus shell. Okay, so let's practice that again before we go into the detail. Let's put a little dot in the middle, and then we'll swirl left and down, and then we'll go around the circle, a little dot as a circle, and we're going to go wide, and we're going to open it up, and we're going to open it up, and we're going to open it up, and then we're going to end up on the left side. And let's do it one more time right here. Actually, we're going to do it 2 more times. We should go here, but I'm going to go here because I think that's that part you can see better, right? Little dot in the middle. Swirl around, and it starts to get wider and wider and wider until it goes out like that. And the last one. This doesn't, now I know I'm starting with this part, but this does not mean that that is all I'm doing. Okay, let me double check something here. Okay, so I'm going down around. Okay, on this one, I'm going to go around even one more time. This is going to be my complex one. These are my warm-up easy ones, okay? This is the real deal right here. Okay, so if you've warmed up with these 3, this one's going to be a breeze. All right, so what do we do now? Well, right here, we draw an oval. Look at the oval right there. Just draw an oval on all of them. You see that? And there's our shell. Wow, that wasn't too hard, was it? All right, now let's do our little curves, okay? We can start from here. It'll be easier, I think, if we start doing the curves from the oval. So we'll do a curve here that looks just like that, and then we'll do a curve here, curve line here, curve, 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 and keep doing your curves all the way around. Same thing on this side, same thing on this side. And we're going all the way around our little shell. Beam, bam, boom. We did it. Last one of the babies, of the easy ones. The easy peasies. Okay? And now for the difficult one. Oh my God, the difficult one. It's only difficult because we did an extra swirl, right? And then we're going to go all the way around, and it's just traveling down the highway of our drawing. It's like going down the road, drawing our little curves. And there, my friends, is the drawing of our Nautilus. Now, let's get creative. What can we do? Well, I was thinking that maybe we could just color it in different colors, right? Today, I'm not going to do a background. I'm just going to color the Nautilus shell. Why, Mr. G? Does that mean I cannot do a background? Of course you can do a background. If you want to make a background, you feel free to make a background. I'm not going to do it because I just want the shell to be the important part, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my shell in the reds. Yes, I'm going to look for all the reds that I have in my colors here. These are all the red colors, right? All the colors that look red. Here's a dark one. I'm going to say that this brown is red, is kind of red. Let me see what else. Okay, I'll do this one too. I'll say this is my red. And they're going to go from light to dark. That's what I'm going to do. You might not have this, okay? And you might not have all of these different types of reds. But I know some people, I know some of you guys have a lot of different colors. Some of you even have that big 64 color crayon box. And if you've got that, well, hey, you can take advantage of having a lot of the same type of color. If you don't, you can just do different colors. You can do it however you want. The point is to color it, right? And I'm going to start from darkest to lightest, okay? So, my darkest one is this one. I'm going to organize myself. Let me see. Where would we go next, Mr. G? We would go with these guys, right? And I think this guy's darker than this one. And then we'll go to this one is darker. And then that one and this one. All right, so let's start with the first one. I'm going to go inside and I'm going to color the first couple of curves or segments. Let's call them segments. The first couple of segments with this color, right? And then what I'll do is I'm going to color some of these that I already colored with the first color. I'm going to add the second color. So I'm already mixing. Did you see that? But I'm not mixing the first ones. Now that I've got the second color in my hand, I'm going to put just the pure second color. on a few of these. I hope I don't run out. I'm just doing this by instinct, right? I'm letting my creativity decide how many I'm going to do. Okay, so that's the second color. And I'm going to use the third color. And before I start drawing just the third color, I'm going to mix it into some of the second colors. You see what's happening? So the first color was pure. The second color mixed into a couple of the ones of the first color. And now the third color is mixing into some of the second color. And now I'm going to take this third color, sorry, and I'm just going to do him by itself. And I'm going to do a couple of these. One more only. Just one more. Okay, I'm going to put my guy right here, and I'm going to take this fourth color, and guess what? I'm going to mix it into the third color, just for a couple of them. Not all of them, just a couple. That way it looks like it's slowly changing colors, right? Now I'm taking my fourth color, and I'm going to draw, or I'm going to color in the fourth color into a few more. Okay, I think I'm going to stop right here with the fourth color. Maybe one more. One more. My instinct says one more. Now I'm going to take my fifth color, right? And I'm going to color over the fourth color for a couple of them. Maybe just 3. And then I'm going to take my fifth color, and I'm going to bring him by itself. Or her. You know, colors can be boys or girls. You decide. Is this a boy color? Is this a girl color? It's up to you. And they change too. Like red could today be, oh, I'm going to put down red. I'm going to put down her red color. And then tomorrow I change red and I say it's a boy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6. Number 6 is going to mix with number 5. Just a little bit. And then he's going to go over here by himself. Uh-oh, I can only do 2. Right? Because I'm running out. Now I'm going to go to number 7. And I'm going to color number 7. And last but not least, all by itself, number 8. And I know what you're thinking, Mr. G, you forgot the last one. Not yet, I'm going to surprise you. Okay, I'm going to get an orange. And I know there are no oranges here, but my creativity, my artisticness is telling me, get some orange, Mr. G, and throw some orange in there. And I'm listening to it. If it works, hey, it works. If it doesn't work, well, it's no big deal. I'm kind of liking it. Alright, now, this is the part everybody was wondering about. Why did I not color this one? Does anybody know? Do you know why I did not color it? I know you know. Because that's the hole, right? That's an empty area. Now, we could draw it black, but I'm thinking that maybe black and brown might be better, right? I don't like to use black all by itself, unless of course I'm tracing. So I'm going to put black and brown. Makes it look a little more natural. Put a little bit of brown in there on top of the black. And now I'm going to go ahead and get my black. Now I like to trace with a sharp black. Now, if you're using crayons, well, you know, do the best you can. If you're using markers, well, you don't need to sharpen markers. But color pencils, yeah, you gotta sharpen them. I know I've said this to you before, but don't use pencil sharpeners to sharpen crayons. Please don't do that. What happens is that the crayon breaks inside the sharpener, and then you've got a big fat mess. And you can't take it out easily because remember, a pencil sharpener is made out of a sharp blade, metal blade. But if you have a crayon sharpener, it should be plastic. And that's safe to use with crayon. It won't work with pencil. Like, you can't sharpen a pencil very well inside of a crayon sharpener. But if you've got a plastic sharpener, then you can sharpen your crayons in there. And there, my friends, is my Nautilus. Now I want to get a little fancy. I might put a little bit of white here at the top. Just a little bit of blending. Just a little bit. And what do you think? Do you like it? Do you like the Nautilus that I made? I want to see the Nautilus that you make. Do your warm-up exercises. Warm up your art. Get ready. Because after this, we are going to make our Under the Sea project. We're going to finish it. We're going to use our scissors. We're going to cut. We're going to glue. We're going to do a lot of work. Now, if today you just want to draw Nautilus, or Nautili, or however you say the plural of Nautilus, if you want to draw your Nautilus warm-ups today, and you want to just do Nautilus today and draw a big one, and tomorrow you want to do the project, finish up the Under the Sea project, guess what? You can do that. You can take your time. But if you're ready and you want to go and start your project, go get your stuff. We're going to go do it now. I'm going to take this out and we're going to bring in our Under the Sea project and we're going to finish it today. Okay, so it's time to start the project. If you have been following along, this is week 3 for you, and you have already done your origami fish. You've colored them and they're ready, right? And you set them aside. You've also done the stuff that's at the bottom of the ocean, right? We've made a whole bunch of things, right? We made our the ground. We've made our octopus. We made a broken down castle, a cannon, a treasure chest. We did a diver, an old-timey diver. We did a submarine. You might have done other things. Fantastic. You've already colored and traced everything, right? So if you're at this stage, then you're ready for today. If you are not at this stage where you haven't done your origamis and you haven't done the background, please go back to either week 1 or week 2, whichever one you're missing, so that you can catch up. And what are we going to do today? What we're going to do today is the water. Yes, we're going to transform this white piece of paper into the ocean. For that, you are going to need some colors. I used my color pencils for all of this. So to make it look different, so that the water looks different than the things that I have here, I am going to use crayons today. I'm going to go get my trusty crayons, and I'm going to use crayons. Now, that's just a personal thing that I'm making, a personal artistic choice to change my medium, to change the tools that I'm using. You do not have to. If you're doing everything in markers or everything in crayon or everything in color pencils or everything in just pencil, it's fine. No problem. No problem. But if you want to come along with me, or if you want to use paint, if you use paint, that's amazing. That would be awesome. You can do that. But if you want to just follow along with me, you can do crayons and color pencils. But the choice is up to you. So, to color this, we're going to need a few colors, right? I am going to take out my blues. I might even use a little purple. And for sure, I'm going to use green. I got a dark green and a light green. These are the colors I'm going to use. Now, I warn you. These colors are going to fill this entire paper. If you break it, don't worry about it. I might break it. I might not. Let's see what happens. If I break it, I'm not going to get upset at myself. I'm just going to open it up and keep coloring with it. But I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be happy that I'm using it and that I'm making colors, that I'm coloring. So it's okay if crayons break. All right? So let's get started. The first color that I'm going to put down is medium blue. See, I've got 2 blues. I'm going to start with medium blue, and I'm just going to start coloring. Okay? I'm not going to color in circles. Do not color in circles. Color left and right as best you can. If you have to move your paper to the side and color like this, it's fine. I'm going to leave it like this so you guys can see it. Right? I'm going to put some blue down, and then I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to mix different colors to make it look like the bottom of the ocean, right? Now there's something you need to know. The bottom of the ocean, or let's talk about the ocean, right? The ocean is a funny thing. As you go closer to the top of the water, there's more light, right? And as you go down, there's less light because the light can't travel through all of the water to get to the bottom. So even during the day, the top of the water is lighter, and when you get to the bottom, it's darker. So we're going to create that illusion with our crayons or with our coloring, right? We're going to leave the top a little lighter than the bottom. We're going to use all our colors here in the water, but we're going to make the top feel like we're closer to the sunlight, and the bottom is going to have a little more darkness. So keep that in mind. All right, so here we go. We started with our base color, right? Which is our first medium blue. If you want to use other colors, go ahead and do so. But please stay away from reds. Stay away from oranges. If you want to sneak in a yellow, that's perfectly okay. All right, so that's our medium blue. Now, for our bottom, I'm going to just start with dark blue. I'm going to use a little dark blue only to about the half of our paper. I'm not going to use dark blue from here up because I don't want the paper at the top. Ooh, it got wrinkled a little bit, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just got to be careful. If it rips, guess what? We can put a little piece of tape, or we can start again. At home, if you rip one of these papers, you can get another one. You know, in class, Mr. D doesn't let you have two papers, right? Because it's more expensive paper. But this paper for printing is not too bad. It's not too bad. All right, so here we go. We're using our darker blue only to about half of the paper. Can you kind of tell that it's darker here and it's lighter up here? Yeah, right? Okay, now we're going to take our purple. And our purple is going to be down here. It's going to be down here, mainly down here. And we're putting one color on top of the other. One color on top of the other. And this purple, oh my God, Mr. G, can't you color without breaking your paper? Oh man. Well, you see, it even happens to Mr. G. So don't be afraid if your paper gets a little wrinkled. It's no big deal, right? It's not the end of the ocean. All right, so here we go. We've got our purple almost to the half, but not all the way. Not all the way. Gonna make it look like it's darker at the bottom. Now we're gonna start with our greens. Now, I'm going to use my regular green. This is regular green, and I'm putting it again on top of everything. On top of the purple, on top of the dark blue down here. I'm starting from the bottom to the top. Left to right, left to right. And I'm coloring my paper. And there it goes. And I'm going to get to the blue. I'm going to get to the dark blue with this green. Because I have another green. It's this one, the light one, right? And the light one is the one that's going to go to the top. Okay? I'm going to use this green to go all the way to the top. Because this is where the sun is shining, right? The sun is shining closer to the top of the ocean. And we're creating that mystery at the bottom and that light at the top. Now, it's feeling to me a little bit like it's too light at the top and too dark in the middle. So I'm going to mix it up here, okay? I'm going to mix it up. And once I've mixed it up, I'm going to keep going. And somebody's knocking on my door. Let's see who it is. Sorry, it was the mailman. The mailman had brought something. Okay, all right, let's get back to our coloring. So we were doing the light yellow, right? So we're going to do the light yellow all the way to the top. And then, when we finish the light yellow, we'll bring some of it down to the bottom. And we'll get some of the blue. Just a little bit more of that light blue. Let's see, this is cerulean and then blue. They're almost identical. We'll put a little bit of that blue up here just to close it up so there's not too much white. Okay, now I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with what I have. To me, this is going to be my water. Okay. Now, if you want to put more color into it, or if you want to put less color into it, you are allowed to do that choice. Okay. Now, from here, we're gonna bring in now our the things that we drew, right? You know, the ground, and we're going to bring the submarine and all those things, and we're going to start gluing them on here. But first, guess what? Yes, that's right. We're going to need to cut them, all right? So let's go get our stuff, and let's get to cutting. You ready? Go! All right, so now that we have the water done, what we're going to do is we're going to cut out. Bring in your stuff, bring in your under the sea things, and let's get ready to cut. I've got scissors. I've got these big scissors. Ideally, I should use small scissors, but I'm going to use these big scissors to cut the ground out first. And then I'm going to bring in the small scissors. So let's start off by cutting off the ground. I'm going to cut this line all the way to the other side. And here we go. Okay, now that's all I need to do for now. I need to start off by just cutting this part right out. And I'm going to put this to the side because I'm going to continue cutting out everything that's here. Now you can tell that the hardest things to cut out are going to be the seaweed, and it's going to be the octopus, because we're going to have to go around all of these little legs, and we're going to have to go up and down here. So I'm going to leave those for last. I'm going to start cutting out the easier things first. But what I'm going to do right now, is I'm going to cut out everything in a big shape, a big easy shape. So I'll show you what I mean with the submarine. I'm going to be able to cut the submarine out into its own little paper. I'm going to put him here. And then I'm going to cut out the octopus. I'm going to separate him out into his own little paper. Right? And then I'm going to cut out the castle into its own little paper. And you'll see why that's important in a minute. And then the cannon into its own little paper. And then the diver into its own little paper, his own, or her, maybe it's a girl diver. Okay, he's ready to go. And I'm going to keep these two together because I've got this overlapping thing going on there. So I'll just cut them out into one big piece of paper. And I'll throw this piece of paper away. Now, I'm going to go bring in my big scissors. My little scissors. I'm going to put my big scissors away. And I'm going to find my little scissors. So yeah, here are my little scissors. And they're going to be much help in cutting out the little things. You know, in art, when I'm doing art, and sometimes I have to draw a lot of stuff, I tend to want to start off with the easy stuff first. But I have learned that starting off with the hard things is better, because for me anyway, starting off with the hard things, I don't get tired so fast. If I start off with the easy things, by the time I get to the hard things, I might be tired and bored. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the harder things. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to cut out all the little legs. Now you've got to be careful and you've got to take your time. If you're in a hurry, you know, there's days when we feel like we're in a hurry and everything has to be done fast. If today is one of those days for you, don't cut out the little legs. Leave it for tomorrow. Because what happens is if you're in a hurry to finish, you might cut off one of the legs, or you might do something like like leaving paper areas without cutting, and then it doesn't look right. If you leave paper, if you leave white areas, for example, if you were to cut out this tentacle, right, and you were to leave a big piece of paper around the tentacle, like I'm doing right here, I'm leaving a big piece of paper right here in this tentacle. Wait, let me cut this out so you can see it better. Cut this big paper out. Do you see what's happening here? Do you see how this tentacle has a big white piece of paper around it? And you say, oh, that's it. I'm going to glue it like this. That doesn't look really good, does it? It kind of looks like you didn't want to finish. Not you, I'm saying, whoever does that. I know you don't do that. But there are students who do that, right? They just finish off like this because they're in a hurry. They want to do something else. They think that cutting is a waste of time. And cutting's not a waste of time because it helps us develop coordination between our eye and our hand. It makes our hand ability working with things. It makes us better at that kind of thing. So please don't hurry. Take your time and try to follow that line. And I know it's going to be a little difficult, but that's where we're learning. That's where developing skill comes from, right? And that's what I want you to do. I want you to get good at this. I want you to get good at making art and doing things in your life. And doing them well. And doing them well, a lot of times, it requires attention to detail. It requires patience. But again, like I said, I know that we don't always, not every day do we wake up with a lot of patience. There are days when we do not wake up with patience. If today is that day, put the octopus away. Come at him tomorrow. And then tomorrow, when you have a little more patience, it's going to be a better octopus tentacle cutting day. All right, so why don't we do this a little quicker, huh? Let's move the video faster so that you don't have to sit here, so that you can go and make your art sooner. Okay, so there is my finished octopus. I put a lot of time into doing it. I know it went fast in the video, I know. But I was kind of cheating in the video. But in real life, it took a long time. I had to go through all those little lines and do that, cutting and removing out the paper and moving him around. You notice how I would move him with one hand and cut him with the other? That's something you should practice. That's a very good skill to have. I'm going to take all these little scraps of paper and we're going to say goodbye to those little scraps of paper. Bye, scraps of paper. And who do you think would be the hardest one to cut out of here? Would it be the submarine? Or the diver? Or would it be this? Well, I know this looks hard over here, but I've got a feeling that these guys can be pretty tough too, maybe with the fingers, and that's the pipe, and the not the pipe, but the hose. That's a hose, an air hose. I'm going to go with the diver. I'm going to put Pulpito over here, Pulpito, and I'm going to get my diver, and we're going to call the diver Mary Ann. Mary Ann the diver. Hi, Mary Ann. Yeah, it's a girl. She's in there. Like SpongeBob's, the squirrel. What's the name of the squirrel in SpongeBob? You know, I've been thinking, I can't remember. Is it Sally? Is it Shirley? I'm gonna have to look it up. I know you're saying it right because you do know who SpongeBob's squirrel, the girl, right? I can't remember. Oh my God, what's her name? Hopefully I'll remember by the end, right? By the end of the project I can remember. Sally? No. Mary? No, it's not Mary, the squirrel. I know what you're thinking, Mr. G. You're leaving the fingers. No, I'm gonna do the fingers when I come back. I'm gonna just do the big parts first. I'm following that line, right? Following the line. Oh, I cut into it a little bit. Doesn't matter. Remember, this is all glued, right? We can glue all of this back together like Humpty Dumpty. Okay, let's speed this up a little bit, all right? Because it's going to take forever. Okay, so there's my diver. Oh wow, the hose was a little tricky. You know, be very careful with the hose because it can be very fragile. If the hose were to cut, let's say you cut the hose by mistake, don't worry about it. You can draw on another little. You can take another little piece of scrap paper, and you can get a pencil, and you can redraw the hose, cut it out, and then glue it. You can re-glue it. So it's no big deal if you cut something out. It's no big deal. Notice I went and I did my best with the fingers. Try not to leave the fingers as just one big circular cut. Do the best you can to go in there and get those fingers done individually. Let's move our little garbage aside. Let's put our diver. Oh my God, I still can't remember the name of the squirrel. Cindy? I don't think that's right. Oh God. Okay, let's put the diver, and let's do the next hardest thing. Now, what would be the next hardest one? I think it would be one of these two. Is it the yellow submarine, or is it the treasure and the seaweed? I want to go with treasure and seaweed. I'm going to leave the submarine over here, because I think the submarine's a little easier. Well, the treasure part's going to be easy for me, right? Because I can just cut this part off real quick, and this part's not too hard, it's just a straight line. But now it starts to get tricky, right? It starts to get tricky around here, around the seaweed. Let me start taking out the big parts. Now I can go ahead and I can cut, if I wanted to, each individual seaweed, right? But that's going to be a nightmare later on to glue. Maybe I can lose them. So I'm going to try to keep them together. So I'm going to leave a little piece of paper at the bottom connecting them. If you didn't do seaweed, then you don't have a problem. You don't have to cut it out. Whatever you did, you have to cut out. So I'm going to go all the way down, but I'm going to stop right before I get to the bottom so I can have them still connected. See, I'm going to say goodbye to that. See how they're still connected? Even though there's a little piece of white there, it doesn't matter. Just a little piece of white there. Where's the camera? Right here? Okay, good. It's no big deal. Alright, let's do the rest. We're going to cut down this way. Taking our time, being careful not to go all the way to the bottom. Past the line. And then I go to this one. And when I'm almost there, let's see if I can do it from here. Oh my God, careful now. Alright, I got it. Yeah, I got it. Boom, it's out. Okay, good, close enough. Dun, 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 dun. Almost done. And here we go. I'm seeing a little problem. You might see it too. Let's see if you see it. I'm going to put it here while I get my box of crayons. Okay, here's my box of crayons. I'm going to get this color of blue. No, that's purple. I'm going to get my blue. No, that's aqua. Come here, blue, blue, blue. There it is. All right. Or I'm going to get this darker blue. Oh yeah, darker blue. Okay, so this is the problem that I have. If you notice carefully, there is a little space right in here that I can't cut. Well, you know what? I might be able to cut it. I am going to cut it. But just for now, let me show you in case you have an area that you cannot get the scissor into. That area that I cannot get the scissor into would be part of the background, right? It would be the ocean. So I could just color it the color of the ocean. And when I glue it, it'll look like it had been cut out. Don't you think? Right? Of course. So you can do that. If you have an area that you cannot cut into because you don't want to break your paper, you can do that. Now, because I just thought of a way while I was looking at it, I just thought of a solution. I can cut it from the bottom. I can cut it from the bottom right here. And when I lift this little piece up, and I gotta cut it a little more. Gotta go in there a little more. There it is. Now I can cut it right out. You see it? Snip. It's gone. Alright, so I didn't need to use the crayons. But just in case, I showed you two ways, right? We can cut it out or we can use the background color. We can use the background color. I could even, see how these little white pieces of paper stayed without cutting? I don't think my scissor can get in there. I can color that, the color of the background, so it won't look like a white piece of paper when I glue it onto the ocean. You see? All right, little art tricks, right? Little art tricks, solutions that we find to problems in our art project. Okay, treasure, seaweed, come over here. All right, now we've got the Submarino. All right, it's not as hard as the hard ones, I think. It's just a big shape here. Let me cut this out big first. And follow along. I think the periscope, remember we said that's a periscope, the big, like the big binocular, the one-eyed binocular that the submariners use, or the submariners, you know, those guys that work in the submarine, to see outside, to see above the water, to see what's out there. That periscope might be a little tricky, but we'll do our best with it. Okay, we'll cut there, and then we'll bring our scissor around like so. Oh god, this is going to be tricky. Oh, you know what? I can, from the back, I've got enough light where I can see. See, if I was left-handed, like my son and my wife who are left-handed, then I could do this easily. All right. Okay. We're going to do the propeller now. The propeller is the hardest part of this submarine. And this propeller that we're finishing off now is going to push the submarine through the water. So I'm going to take my time and I'm going to cut it out carefully. And then, if I do a good job, you won't see the white paper. Alright, that's our submarine. There's our submarine. Bye-bye, yellow submarine. Now the next hard part. Oh wait, let's clean up our area, right? Let's move all this to the side. Let's clean up our area. I always like to have a clean working space, right? I don't want to work on top of a mess. I think this one's going to be super easy. We just go around the outside of the broken castle walls. And let's do this one quickly. What do you say? We'll do it quickly? Alright, go. Alright, so there it is. What do you think? Not too bad, right? Okay, let's clean up and let's go to the last one. The last one is the cannon. It's the easiest one. See now, Now, my last one, when I'm a little tired of cutting, is not a hard one to do. If I had to do the octopus now, oh my God, I'd be so tired. It would be a big headache. I'd cut off some of the legs. It would not work, right? Ooh, took off. Don't take off. Come back here. So always start off, and well, if it's your thing, right? If you're the kind of person like me that can get tired. If you don't get tired, then you cut whatever you want first. But if you want to follow my suggestion, always start by cutting the hardest part first, the hardest things first. All right, there he is. There's our little cannon. Now I know what you're thinking, Mr. G, you've got all that white paper. Well, I don't want to cut off the little thing that it has, right, for where you put the fire. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of blue around it so that it kind of looks like the ocean when we get there. All right, so let's put this aside. Let's put all our things aside. Let's move out all the garbage. Let's get our glue. I'm going to be using a glue stick, but remember, you can use a glue, liquid glue. So where's my liquid glue? So if you have one of these, either one will work. If you're using this, you have to use very little glue. I might use a little bit of it just to show you. But if you've got a glue stick, that works perfectly as well. What you're going to do is you're going to need these two things. You're going to need your ocean that you just did. And you're going to need your trusty fisheroonies. All right? So let's start putting all of this together. Let me clear this out. And clear everything out, clear my space, and let's get started with the paper first, the background, the ocean. Alright, so what we're going to need to bring in first is our background. This is the base that we're going to use to put everything on top. Now I want you to imagine that we are creating a real under the sea artwork. So we're going to put some things closer to us and some things further away. But let's start with the easiest thing. And I think the easiest thing is the ground, right? The ground. We're going to put the ground right down here at the bottom. When you glue it, be careful you don't leave some of the water out. Don't leave some of the water out. Bring it all the way to the bottom. Even if you bring it down a little bit lower than the ground, than the bottom of the paper, that's fine too. But you at least want to match the bottom. Now you've got the choice of using your glue stick or your liquid glue. I'm going to use liquid glue for this one. And I'm going to show you how little glue you really need. So open the glue, remove the top, you know, where the little glue sometimes gets dry, if that's the kind of glue you have. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in dots in different parts of the ground. Just a couple of dots. There's no need to make a big explosion of glue. If you do big giant glue blob, that's going to take 3 weeks to dry, if it even dries, and it's going to make a big mess. So little dots, that's going to work best for you. So once you've got the little dots, you turn it around, you put it in position, you can move it until you get it right where you want it, and then you press it down so that the glue sticks. I got a little bit of glue on my finger and it kind of got on the paper, but that doesn't matter because the nice thing about glue is that it glues. When it dries, the glue turns into clear, right? So you don't see it. It's not going to leave a stain or anything. Now, after this, we're going to start using the objects, the things that we actually made. Now, you can pick whatever you want first, right? I liked my treasure chest and my seaweed. And last time I did this project, I did them separate, and this time I did them together. So if you want to cut them and separate them, you can do that. But if you want to keep them together, that's fine. I had made them around here, remember? That's where they were originally. But if you want to move them around, like if you want to put that here now and squeeze it under, that's fine. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change it. I'm going to put it here. And then you're going to watch what I'm going to do. Because this is so delicate, I'm going to use a little bit of the glue stick here and maybe a little bit of liquid glue here. Of course, you can use your glue stick everywhere. Just be careful how much you put. Just put a little bit. You can use glue stick, you can use liquid glue, whatever you want to use. I'm going to squeeze it in back here. And I'm not going to worry about too much about the glue going all over the place, because I know it's going to dry clear. And then I'm going to push it down like that. I'm going to let it live right there. Now this is the trick I wanted to show you. Overlapping, right? Things can be in front of other things. And I'm going to overlap this castle behind the treasure chest. You see? Because my glue is not completely dry, I can squeeze it. I can squeeze it behind the treasure chest. Now you don't have to squeeze it behind the treasure chest. You can put it anywhere you want. And this is the nice thing about collage, right? You've done everything separately, but then you can compose it. Composing is the art word for organizing things, right? Organizing your picture, what you put first, what you put second, what you make small, what you make large. Composing is what we're doing now. We can compose without having to erase things. See, if we had drawn this and we wanted to move things around, we'd have to erase the castle from here and draw it over here. But because we're gluing and moving stuff around, we don't need to worry about the erasing part. Oh, you know, I just remembered. SpongeBob Squirrel's name is Sandy. Sandy Cheeks. Oh my God, how could I forget? Oh man, I tell you, don't get old, guys. Don't get old, because then you forget the simplest of things. I'm going to like the cannon over here. I'm going to put the cannon like if it was here at this top of this mountain, and it's going to shoot over to the broken castle. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my cannon. Careful, don't make too much of a mess when you glue on your table, because then you've got to clean it up. Remember, Mom doesn't like for you to mess up the table, so don't glue it too much. Let's see, what else do we have? We have the diver, we have the submarine, and we also have our Pulpito. You know what? I think I'm going to have Pulpito here in the front. Or no, you know what? Pulpito could be here. He could be in front of everything. But to be in front of everything, I'm going to have to cut him straight, because he's got this, you see how he's got that bridge? So I'm going to get my scissor. I'm going to get my big one, not the little one. And I'm going to carefully cut him straight. You see? I'm going to take this little piece of garbage out. I'm going to use my liquid glue for this guy. Just little dots, dots. Not too many. Maybe a little dot in the tentacles. Little dot here, little dot there. And I'm going to put him right in the middle, because he's such a cool guy. Well, maybe not the middle, maybe this way a little bit. And you see how now he looks like he's in front of everything? He's in front of the cannon, he's in front of the rocks, he's in front of the seaweed, the treasure chest. And things are overlapping. They look more realistic like this, right? Okay, now we have the submarine. You know what? I'm going to put the submarine right at the top of my paper, and I'm going to use my imagination to think that the periscope is coming out of the paper. Look at that. He's like looking outside of the water. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Love that. I'm going to use my little bit of glue. Oh, you know what? I put glue on the periscope, and that's not going to be on the paper, so I got to erase that. I got to squeeze that out with my hand. I'm going to put them right there. Now, if you don't like that, you know what? You're free to change that on your paper. That's what I like about art. You can make it however you want, and it's still going to be fine. Let me see. Yeah, what I'm going to do, see, what happens is I've got these fish that I want to make, right? That I want to glue on here. And I'm going to need some space. I'm not going to put this guy, even though he's a funny guy. I'm not going to put him. I'm going to use these guys. So I'm going to have him as an extra. Maybe I put him on my refrigerator or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my diver over here in front of everything. In front of the castle and in front of the submarine. Because he's closer, right? So he's bigger. Now this is going to be tricky, right? Because I have to glue this. But I'm going to use my glue stick. Because I think I'm going to move this a little bit. I think the glue stick would be better. Now here's something you can do. I've got a sketch paper here, right? Where I sketched some ideas. and that way I don't dirty or I don't glue up the table or my little mat. Right on top of this paper, I'm gonna glue stick my diver. But notice I'm glue sticking him on the back. So when I turn him around and I get my sketch scrap paper out and I bring him here, I can glue him without a problem. And there he is. I glue him right here. Then I press the hose down and he is all set. Wow, look at that. It's completely different, right, than what I had drawn? And this works because now I have space over here for my fish family. Now I'm going to put him here, overlapping the castle. But you know what? I don't want him overlapping the treasure chest. I can put him behind. Actually, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put him behind. I'm going to put him behind everything. Oh, I like that. You see how the tail goes behind this and the bottom fin goes behind the treasure chest? I tell you, I love this part. It's my favorite. Composing, putting things together. I love it. I hope you enjoy it too. Okay, so a little bit behind here, a little bit behind there. And there it is. Voila. Voila. I push him down. And I've got one more to go. I'm going to make him look like he's going to go down and talk to the octopus. Yeah, he's going to have some strong words for that octopus. I'm going to use my glue stick for him. Oh, not my glue stick, my liquid glue. My Elmer's liquid glue. Open up, guy. Come on, little dots. I can even put a little glue in here if I want. Keep him from popping up. And now I'm going to put him down here. Hey, you big giant octopus. You and me have to talk. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what they're going to talk about. All right, now, this is my composition. This is the work I did. I really want to see what you come up with. Now, you can copy mine, of course. That's why I make it, if you want to copy it. But you can also change it around. You can make it completely different. I really want to see the ideas that you come up with. So please make sure that you take a picture of your work and you try to add it to the assignment so that I can see it there. You can also post it in the group, outside where we have the forum, where we talk to one another. You can post it there and everybody can see your masterpiece. But if you can't do either one, you can always email it to me. And my email is in the Microsoft Teams, all right? So I hope you enjoyed this project. Please stay tuned for week 5. We're going to have brand new artwork and we're going to have fun together. And remember, stay safe, listen to mom and dad, do your homework, relax, have fun. If you play video games, do that when you have some time, and don't eat too much because Mr. G is eating way too much during this time. All right, guys, I'm glad you came, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.